Hi, I'm Andy at RedDoor Homes, and a little bit of a different video for us today. We're up here at a property in Chatham Grove that we manage that recently caught fire. So we're going to go inside and I'll talk you through some sort of various issues that we've come across. So let's have a walk around. So this house is a kind of stereotypical mid-terrace 3-bed house, and the fire started in the rear bedroom, and it was pretty much contained to the rear bedroom, but there's an awful lot of damage, one from the smoke damage, and more importantly probably from the 50,000 litres of water that the firemen pumped in to extinguish the fire. So a couple of the problems or the issues that we've incurred. Firstly, with the tenants didn't have any contents insurance. So all of their contents were damaged, from water damage, smoke damage and fire. They lost everything. Bearing in mind they're renting this house, so it's their clothes, all of their kitchen appliances, every single thing. The only thing that they have left is what they left with when the smoke alarms went off at 7 o'clock in the morning. So as you'll see here, you know, the damage just from the water alone is catastrophic. I mean, it's huge. I mean, we have the insurance on this property, or it's insured correctly. We have rental cover, which is different to landlord insurance or landlord rental protection. So basically, even now, whilst this is ongoing, whilst all the work's being done and carried out, the landlord still gets his rent. But you have to remember, an insurance company's job is more about trying to get out of making the payment. So it's important to make sure, one, you have a really good insurance company, not the cheapest. Don't just go, oh, it's property insurance, I'll go for the cheapest one. It's about making sure you have the relevant cover. You know, fire cover should be included in most of them. But I mean, there's so many things that they'll go. You know, when we sat down with the loss adjuster, he came down here, he wants to know, have we got a gas safety inspection? Have we got the inspection reports to make sure that we inspected the property regularly every 6 months? Is there an electrical inspection test? Is there an inventory? Is the tenancy agreement signed and up to date and all relevant? You know, they are doing everything they can to try and get out of making a payment. And this has been about a month now, and they still haven't come back and confirmed. You know, we've been assured by the insurance brokers, fire, it's not going to be a problem and they'll pay out. But what you can see around here, you know, this is pretty much, you know, going to be, in their terms, pretty much a new build. You know, the roof's all gone, all the rafters are gone, you know, the walls have been damaged. We need to get structural engineers in, and we're a month in and we're actually no further forward. We've had to clear it out. The cost of clearing it out is not covered under the insurance because it was the tenant's contents, and that's not covered under, you know, the existing policy. So there's so much to think about. It's a minefield. One of the other things that we're looking at is the damage that is caused to next door. So the fire started here. It started in the bedroom, as you'll see up here on the left-hand side, but that spread through into the house next door. So, you know, who's liable for that? Is it our insurance? Is it next door's insurance? Well, from my understanding, next door claim off their insurance, then their insurance will put a claim in and claim off of our insurance and get this work done. But you can just see, you know, the scaffolding next door. There's an awful lot of work required next door, and they're an elderly couple. They don't need, you know, any of that hassle. So as an agency, we're trying to work with them to assist to make sure that we can be as accommodating as possible. But I mean, just have a look up there, you know, now, Jack, and that's, you know, this is a small fire, and we're still uncertain to how it started, whether it was a cigarette butt, faulty electrical. If it's an electrical fire and you haven't had an electrical inspection test, is it covered? You know, I don't know. Again, no smoking's allowed in any of the properties. It's in the tenancy agreement. If it was caused by a cigarette, is that a breach of the tenancy agreement? Where does it end? And we're uncertain of this stuff, but I'm sure as hell every loss adjuster and every insurance broker will do their utmost to try and get out of any payment. And I think certain things that have surprised me, I mean, if you just look at the state now of this carpet throughout, just from firemen coming through, plus ash, dirt, coal, charcoal, the smell in here, which obviously we can't show you the smell, but the smell of smoke is just as soon as you walk in, and that's not going to go just by a lick of paint on the walls. You know, a lot of this stuff's going to have to come off and either be replastered, redone, rewired throughout, because where it's burnt through all the cables up here, you're going to have to rewire all of these. So there's going to be chasing out that's needed to get new cables through, then the replastering. You don't realise that stuff. You definitely don't see it. I mean, here, when I came last time, this was all right. You wouldn't have even known there was a problem. Now, look, it's just coming off where the water is absorbed into the walls, and everything's coming off. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you the difference from when I came the first time. First time I came, I was like, oh, it's just a little fire in there, and it was, even the smoke, it didn't look anything like this. And this has all happened over time, and you need to leave it, a while for everything to dry out to see the extent of the damage. In here, and this is where they were in bed asleep in here. So, you think there was no heating, there was no fire in here, but look at the walls, look at the windows, just the smoke damage. This ceiling is going to have to come down, it's going to have to be rewarded. And the walls which will be stripped off, which I'd imagine will take most of the plaster off. Windows probably changed, I'd imagine a lot, just the heat on the UPVC has melted half of that, so they're going to need redoing. Just immense. We can see down here, look, actually, Jack, look, you can see the crack that's come from the heat that's from next door into here. And that's before we even know what structural work needs doing. I'm only talking about mainly cosmetic. So the main bit here, which if you look in here, obviously won't go in, but just up here, Jack, all of these obviously completely burnt through. So it's not going to be just a cut and put some new. That's new rafters, a whole new roof on here. As I mentioned at the beginning, we're uncertain as to where the fire started. We know it was in this room, but we're not sure whether it was over this side or this side. And the fire investigation officers have said it was just too far gone to ascertain initially where it started. But I mean, it was clearly in there. And it was only for the smoke alarms and the neighbours who knocked on the doors that managed to get the people out safe in the morning. But it's just frightening. Just standing here now, and you think, God, what could have happened? And in my opinion, this is a small fire. It's just a small fire in one room of a house that's got 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, lounge, kitchen, dining room downstairs. So what's that? 6 or 8 rooms. And it's a fire in one, and it's caused all of this. Unreal. So hopefully, by having a watch of this video, you've seen how things can change in a matter of, minutes or hours even. So, 7 o'clock, there's no problem at all. By 9 o'clock, there's all this devastation. So my takeaway from this is make sure that everything's in order. Make sure you have the correct insurance in place if you're a landlord. Suggest to your tenants contents insurance. We all think we don't have any, great possessions or belongings, and they don't cost a lot. But when you need to replace every single item, all of your clothing, the kitchen appliances, all this stuff, it mounts up, and you'll soon see it gets to 10, 20, 30,000 pounds. And make sure your paperwork's in order. So inspections, as a landlord, you need to do inspections every 6 months. You will require all of this documentation when and if you ever need to submit a claim. So we all get a little bit lapse, or we come and do an inspection and go, yeah, I've done it. Document it, make sure you have everything in order. And that's especially tenant-fine landlords. So thanks for watching, and hopefully you've kind of learned something.